phenomenal podcast for you today. It's Wednesday. That means it's Akuma Wednesday. We talk about some cool Akuma products. I got this Alejos reel we're going to talk about a little later in the show, so you don't want to miss out on that. Also, I want to let everybody know, those of you that waited too long, Justin got booked up immediately yesterday. He found his 4 people. So he's going to be going live on Friday night on the lobster trip. He's got 4 people. The boat's full. It's done. You cannot hesitate. You can't wait. He said he's got people texting him today that he's sorry, it's filled up. When we put a trip online, gang, the power of your saltwater guide, you have to understand that once it goes online and we tell you that we have a trip coming up, you cannot wait. You have to book immediately. Even if you can't, you're not sure if you're going to make it or not, you got to book immediately because someone's going to take your spot. Gang, today is a special, special day. We're bringing on one of my really good friends. I've known him since I was a little kid. We're going to bring Mr. Bart Hall on the show today to talk about his big show coming up at the Long Beach Convention Center and then his show down in Del Mar. So we're going to bring him on the show in a few minutes. We also have Mr. Bill Varney, who's super involved in the Bart Hall shows, and he joins us every Wednesday. We're going to bring Bill onto the show also, and Bart and Bill and I will talk all about the Bart Hall show that's coming up on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and 28th of January. We're like not even a week and a half away. We're like a week away. I bet Bart's getting pretty stressed out right now. I know I would be if I had all this stuff coming up. It's going to be fun, though. I'll be there. Bill Varney will be there. Wes will be there. Wes will be our guest on the show on Friday, so you don't want to miss all the cool things. And Bill Varney said he'll join me so that I ask Wes the right questions, and then Wes and Bill will both be doing some seminars up at the Bart Hall Show. It's going to be just a great week coming up. We're all super excited about the show. Don't forget, gang, if you catch the largest lobster with Justin or Pablo on their lobster trips, you got a chance to win $1,000 US that Kelly Girl and I are going to give away on March 20th, the last day of hoop netting. Whoever catches the largest lobster, and right now it's like 9.6 pounds is the biggest one that Justin's caught so far, but there's plenty of time left for that. And don't forget all the other cool things we got. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe here on YouTube. It's super important. Those of you that are watching on Facebook, make sure you follow us on Facebook. It's super important. And all of you that are listening across the world on all the different podcast carriers, I want to thank you all very, very much. Like I told everybody yesterday, we hit 65,000 subscribers over on YouTube. If you don't know, that's a big deal. Go look at some of your friends' YouTube channels, and once you get to 50,000, it falls off dramatically, and I'm at 65,000. So I'm super excited. We're fastly approaching 100,000. That's going to be a big, big day. We'll have some kind of super giveaway for that when we get to 100,000 subscribers. But the only way any of this happens is with all of you. So I'm stoked. Elliot and I were looking at our numbers this morning because we're talking to some new sponsors, and we are just blown away by the millions and millions of views we get every month. So thank you all very much for all that. And without any further ado, let's bring in the man, Mr. Bart Hall. Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Dave. Nice to be here. Really nice.
I am super excited. Thank you for inviting me to come speak at your show. I know you and Jenny. Well, I know Jenny's a huge fan. She loves to watch me speak. So I promise you I will not let her down. I promise.
Yeah, I worried for years that Dave and Jenny were having an affair because Jenny absolutely doesn't listen to anybody in the fishing business. But when he's going to do a seminar, she drops everything, and we got to go over and watch Dave do his seminar. And it's true. I mean, really, of all the people that we've had over the years do seminars, Dave is by far the most passionate, the most descriptive. There's a lot of knowledgeable people, but not all of them can fill you with the passion as they give you that knowledge. And Dave can do it. It's fabulous.
Well, thank you very, very much. That makes me feel good inside. You guys have been doing this for a very, very long time, and you've had phenomenal amount of speakers. So I make sure that I do the very best job I can. Our good friend Arnie's watching, and Arnie's always bringing the hard hats. He's the guy that came up with the idea to make sure you wear a hard hat when you come to Dave's show. It's pretty funny.
We ought to give us seatbelts too, hard hat seatbelts.
And I'm probably the only guy that does a seminar that I walk off the stage and I'm literally dripping in sweat because, like Bart said, I'm super passionate about what I'm doing. And I want to get that. I want you all to have the passion because, like my good friend Frank Lopresti says, Bart, Bill Barney, Wayne, Chris, my sister, everybody, we're so deeply involved with CCA because if it wasn't for your show and if it wasn't for Bill's show and if it wasn't for all of us being together trying to keep fishing open, they're on a mission to stop us from fishing, right, Bart?
Oh, they absolutely are. And yeah, the thing is we're a community, and the value of all these shows is that we assemble as a community and we feel the passion as a community. You can think you love fishing and you go out and with maybe a couple of guys in fresh water, you fish the surf alone, or you go on a boat and maybe there's 20 people, maybe there's 40 people. All of a sudden you walk into a hall and there's 10,000 people thinking just like you think. And it's really liberating and it's really empowering.
Absolutely. And I know you're a huge proponent of CCA California. You work diligently with Wayne and Chris and all the people behind it. And they're going to have a huge presence at your show, right?
They are, and I'm glad to see that you're supporting Akuma here today, and Akuma supports you. Akuma is one of the companies that really, they not just lip service, they really support CCA. They work hard. They're really good at it. And yes, CCA is going to look very different this year. In the past, they've had a kind of a haphazard booth along the side as you walk in. Now they have a much larger booth that's in the center of the show, very near Bob Sands Fishing Tackle, and they're going to have their Parker boat in there that was given to them by Nick Kelly over at West Coast Marine, because that prize is going to be given away during the Star Tournament, and the Star Tournament is a big deal. It's a fishing tournament that's been going on in the Gulf states for many years, very popular, very successful. Raises a lot of money, and they're using that same formula out here. You're going to win. There's dozens of great prizes, and the grand prize is this wonderful Parker boat and new Yamaha engine, and it's really great. And you can sign up for it at the show, get a package. You can get a package. You actually get your ticket, $10 off your ticket to the show to do it too. So it's quite a deal.
Right. And I'm putting up the QR code right now for CCA California. And you and I and Bill will talk about it more once we bring Barney on the show. But CCA California is our only voice that we have at the table, gang. We don't have a voice. This is it. This is the only voice we have at the table. And what table am I talking about? The environmental table, the place where they're wanting to close everything. And unfortunately, it costs a fortune to stand up against these big corporations that are trying to stop fishing. So I am so glad to be standing behind CCA California because of the fact that if it wasn't for fishing, Bart, I'd probably be digging holes. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Fishing is my passion. Fishing is my everything, and teaching people how to fish. That's why I have so much fun standing on the stage in front of all the people at your show, sharing my passion.
Well, they have fun watching, and you're right. But the problem here with these people is, you go to these meetings and you try. You have a job, I have a job. We go to these meetings. We're not getting paid to be there, and the guy across from us who's trying to shut down fishing, he's getting paid to be there, and it's a really big deal. And we all have to do our part. So the CCA is a member-driven organization, and please, whatever events you go to, whether mine or others, you please go sign up and join the CCA. We need people. Without members, this organization doesn't exist. We can't just leave it to Akuma or to Shimano or AFCO or Daiwa to get this stuff done. We have to do it ourselves. And I hope everyone takes that message to heart, because it's really serious. And this is the time of year when we can all talk about it, because we're all assembling. So.
Yeah, that's what they don't like, is when we all get together, because
no, they don't.
we're working on a common goal to keep. All we want to do is keep fishing open. Michael Foltz, a good friend of yours and mine, he's coming out with the history of sport fishing. You're going to get to see more.
I'm so excited about that, Dave. That is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, it's super exciting. I am I can't wait to see it. I got to see a few clips. Michael's been giving me a few little things to look at. And every time I watch it, it brings a tear to my eye because I don't want to think of a world where my grandkids can't fish. I just can't even imagine that. And that is where we're headed in California. So that's why your show, the Bart Hall shows, and the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show, these are so important to the industry because it brings it out in front of everybody. Like you said, CCA is going to have a huge presence at your show, booth inside the show. And the really cool thing is I will be hanging out in that booth. So that'll be pretty spectacular, bringing all my fans over to hang out at the CCA booth. I think it'll help tremendously. But hold on one second. This guy is pretty involved with CCA. Bill Varney, welcome. Thanks for hanging out.
Hey, great to see you guys.
Thanks for waiting. So,
oh, my pleasure.
Bart Hall Show coming up, Bill and Bart. How long have you been hanging out at the Bart Hall Show, Bill Varney? Because that's where I first met you. So we got Bart sitting here. We're going to give all kudos to Bart right now, but I have been doing this show for a long time, but I think you may have been doing it longer than me.
I think I've been an exhibitor. I have to think about that. Maybe about between 15 and 20 years. But of course, the show had a different name in Los Angeles, and I grew up in Hermosa Beach. My dad was a big fisherman. So when I was a little kid, just a toddler, probably, we were going to the show. So I would say most of my life, I wish my dad was still around. I could ask him when we started going. Don't really remember, but I do remember maybe starting about 20 years ago, being actually in the show and at the show. And it has been a real pleasure over all of these years. It has been a privilege to have Bart as my friend and help me, find what I wanted to do in life, what my passion in life was. And of course, I knew from when I was a little kid that I loved fishing. I loved the ocean. I loved surfing, being around the water. But of course, work got in the way because you have to make a living. You have to support your wife and your kids and all that. And that wasn't going to be for me in the fishing industry. But as time went on, I really realized what I loved. And I got introduced to being able to do some seminars in the show about 20 years ago. And from there, it's really grown a lot. I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah, well, I was just joking with you when I told you you've probably been doing it longer than I have, because Bart and I, we can look back. My father, who started out in the sport fishing industry just recently, 1947 is when my dad got his start in the industry, but he was a part of Bart's father's show way back in the old days, oh my gosh, when Jones Decorating Company used to set the show up. My dad used to tell me about how you guys were in the Quonset hut building, he used to call it. I don't even know, because I was just a little kid wandering around with my dad as he held my hand. And that had to be 50 plus years ago, right? Or something like that. I don't know, a long time ago, Bart. How long?
It's over 50. We've been doing this for 76 years. This is our 76th edition, but we missed a couple years, so it's actually been 78. But in 1946 is when my dad did the first show. And that was in April of 46 at the Gilmore Stadium, which was an outdoor dirt midget car racetrack. Mm-hmm. And he did it there, and he didn't like the look of the dirt track, so he went out and had some sawdust dyed green, and he put it out there so it would look like grass, and it was great. Really, people loved it until it started raining the third day, and all the dye came out of the sawdust and got in everybody's feet, and it was quite funny. And then they moved over to the Pan Pacific Auditorium for a number of years, and then to the Great Western Exhibit Center for a while, and then 1 year at the Sports Arena downtown, and then finally, eventually, to the Long Beach Convention Center, where we've been for almost 50 years. So
that's what my dad used to tell me. The Pan Pacific building was where he started. That's where my dad started being an exhibitor back in the early 50s. 50s. So yeah, when I say, Bill, you've been around longer than I had, not really. I was walking around with my dad. Icon in the sport fishing industry, Donald K. Hansen. If you Google that name, you'll be blown away at all the cool things my father did to allow us all to fish. But what's going on today? Super important to be involved with CCA. I mean, I'm excited to be there in the booth, talking to everybody and giving back, because really, to be perfectly honest with you, gang, everybody out there, I didn't always believe in giving back. I was kind of a snot-nosed little kid whose dad owned a bunch of boats, and I kind of rode around on that. But now I'm humbled by the following that I have and how important it is to make sure that we keep fishing open. So, Bill, aren't you excited about the presence of CCA going to be inside the building this year?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. They're going to have an awesome booth and be able to answer a lot of questions, especially about the Star Tournament coming up. What they do is really important today. Just a little bit earlier today, I heard that an appellate court back east struck down NOAA's ruling, which was on all of the commercial boats on the East Coast. And of course, this would have come to the West Coast without question. They were going to be required every time they went offshore to have a federal observer on board and give the government all the information about when they're leaving, when they're coming back, where they went, all their fishing spots, everything. And luckily that was struck down today. There's actually a case in front of the Supreme Court that's going to come up that will have something to do with this, although they may just knock it down right away. But one of the commercial anglers, put it in these terms, very simple. He said, we don't make a lot of money fishing. We don't know if we're going to catch anything. Hopefully we do well and make some good money. But he said the problem is that we travel so far offshore that we'll travel an entire day offshore to get to the fishing grounds, spend a day on the fishing grounds, but the fishing's no good, and not catch anything, and then spend an entire day coming back. So we have to pay the observer for 3 days of being on the boat and all their food and everything else. Although we don't make a penny, we actually lose money up to $100,000 on just the cost of fuel. So that was a really good example, and that's why CCA's so important, and we're so glad they're there. And everybody's going to have a chance to meet Director Coteau and see, meet Wayne, see what kind of guy he is, and ask any questions they have about what the rules and regulations are and where we're going.
You know what I think is really cool is that this show's been around for so long, but you are totally in touch with the industry all the time, Bart, and you go to all the meetings and you're involved with all the meetings and you're on Let's Talk Hookup all the time with Pete. And you're a big voice in this whole thing about trying to close everything. You get it. You get it. You give back like my father. You give back all the time, your time. Like you said before, we're not getting paid to be there, and Wayne's not getting paid. For the time he puts in, he's getting paid less than minimum wage. But we all understand how important it is. And you dedicate the show. There's so much going on at the Bart Hall Show. And also Bill over at the PCS Show. You guys are understanding and you're making sure that we all know about CCA. You guys don't have to do that. This is your trade show. This is where you're trying to make your money. But you understand if we don't have fishing, there is no Bart Hall Show. There is nothing, right?
Right. The thing for me is that it's not a business as much as it is a passion. And then a lot of people around me, all my people who work with me, abhor that, but it's true. I really think that it's a wonderful thing, like I said earlier, to have all those people assemble and share their passion. And I'd hate to see that go away. I'd hate to see it so that my great-grandchildren would not be able to fish. And that's why I'm passionate about this. I'm not a great fisherman. I do like to do all kinds of fishing. I do like to fish in the Sierras, and I like to fish offshore, and I like to fish the coast and the piers, and I like all that stuff. But the idea is that once you get together with like-minded people, it's very good. Now, I tell you what, I am frustrated, however, with the fishing community. The hunters, they all get together. They all band together. They throw money together. They get their stuff done. Fishermen kind of go, somebody else will take care of it. Well, we can't do that anymore. We can't let somebody else take care of it. We have to take care of it. You have to join CCA. It's the only thing we have, like it or not. We have to join CCA, work hard, and keep fishing. So it's pretty simple to me.
Let me show you a video real quick of a guy that's going to be at the show, and he's very passionate about keeping fishing open. And we all the three of us know this man. He'll be at your show. Listen to this real quick, gang, if you don't believe what we're telling you.
You know, there is a concern that some today would like to see no fishing whatsoever anywhere in the United States, especially in California. That is, we were told that 10 years ago at meetings, that our goal is to see fishing abolished. I pray to God it doesn't happen.
That's heavy right there. That man, that guy's pretty important in the industry, and he's telling everybody, listen, it's time to wake up. Like Bart just said, we got to get together. You put me, Bart, and Bill together in a room, and we're not going to agree on everything, but it's time for that to leave, and it's time to get together and start agreeing on saving fishing. It's super important.
You know, I'm not intimidated by many people, but I was intimidated by your father and by Frank. Pretty powerful guys.
Oh yeah, and then those two started out. Frank started going out with my dad as a pinhead off the San Clemente Pier. That was the first time he got introduced to fishing. So those two guys have a reason to talk about keeping this thing open. Hey, I got to just show everybody one thing real quick, and then we're going to get into what is going on at the show. We're going to get into all the exhibits and all the cool stuff, but just look at this video real quick, gang.
Hey guys, this is John Bretza, Director of Product Development for Okuma Fishing Tackle. And what I have here is exciting, new, upgraded Alejos 2-speed reels. For all you tuna guys, bottom fish guys, anybody that wants something that's super durable, heavy duty, but you can fish lighter tackle, this is it. I refer to this as a mini Machaira. So what we've done with the Alejos updates is that we've taken the dual force drag system that's in the Machaira and we've mirrored that inside the new Alejos. The other thing that we've done is based on popular demand that we've heard from you anglers out there is that we added a thrust bearing. The same thrust bearing that you'll find in the Machaira is now in the Alejos. So when you fish at really heavy drag pressure, you're going to eliminate any handle binding and you're going to have great free spool and you're going to be able to really put the wood to these big tuna. The other thing that we've also done is that one of the keys to the Machaira drag system is a drag cam and the actual ramp and what it can actually achieve from free spool to strike, but more importantly, from strike to full when that fish is in the death circle. The Machaira outperforms everything else, and what we did is we copied the Machaira drag cam and put that in the Alejos. So some great benefits there. The other thing, just like the previous Alejos, you have 17-4 grade stainless steel gearing. One advantage that you do have, even though I call it a mini Machaira, one advantage that it does have is that there's a cast control system. So you can adjust this to real heavy pressure. Say if you're up in Alaska fishing halibut, you got real heavy lead, you can slow that spool down, or you can do micro adjustments for say casting sardines or something like that on the West Coast. The new Alejos is going to be backed by a 3-year warranty. This product is now shipping and in the dealer's hands right now. If you want to find out more information on the Alejos, check it out on okumafishingusa.com.
Thank you, John Bretza. Thank you for that great. I have one right here. It's like, this is a killer reel. This thing works phenomenal. But hey, gang, listen, from right now forward, I'm going to tell you all, we're doing a contest. Bart's going to give away 2 tickets to the show, but here's how you win. You have to share this podcast. Right on the bottom on Facebook, there's a little swoosh. It looks like a little arrow. When you click on that, it'll say how many you want to share this to. You all have 5,000 friends. I know you do. If you hit that and you start inviting all your friends to watch, whoever shares it the most, and Elliot's the man and he can track it, we're going to give you 2 tickets to this bitchin' show at the Long Beach Convention Center. And if you can't make it to that one, Bart will give you 2 tickets to the Del Mar show. But the only way you're going to get this is to share this on Facebook or on YouTube with all your subscribers. That's the only way. And then what we'll do is Elliot and myself will reach out to you and we'll give you those 2 tickets. So share the living bejesus out of this from right now forward. Bart, tell everybody what are we going to have? What do we see when we come to the show? Because there's way more than fishing. There's stuff for kids, so much cool stuff.
There is, you know, and Mike Lum, who used to work with us for a very long time, he said he came up with a phrase. He called it the ultimate outdoor experience. And we're trying to build on that as much as possible. Fishing will always be at the core of what we do, but we also believe in hunting. We believe in international travel, destination resort travel. We believe in boating, and we believe in the off-road and now the overland experience. And we're trying to put all of those together, and we're doing it in a very difficult way because a couple of years ago when the pandemic hit, we went through some legal issues with some people, and we weren't able to continue in exactly the same way that we had for the previous 75 years. And so this has been a real challenge to work, to come together and to do things. And with the help of Bill and several others that have worked really hard, we put together quite a good show. And it's a variety show. There's a lot of good things going on. By default, we are now the boat shows in California. We've produced 3 shows this year. They all have more boats than any other event in the state of California. We just have more boats. We're the boat shows. And that's a good thing if you're looking for boats. And actually this year, there's going to be some great deals made because boat dealers have been sitting on inventory and not moving boats for quite a while. And they can't afford to do that because they're paying flooring every day. So that's going to work out really well at the shows. Our travel. Now, the travel isn't what it used to be because during the pandemic, everybody wanted to travel and get away. And so those guys are all booked up with their places. But we think by next year, all the travel that we used to have will be back. We have good travel, all the best places, but we're going to end up probably tripling that by next season. We really like this idea of off-road and overland because I like it. I love going camping. I love going out in the wilderness. I like to be alone and looking at the stars at night. I love trout fishing in the Eastern Sierras. It's one of my favorite things to do. And that's all embodied in what we're doing here this year. We're just starting in this overland thing, but we have a real nice beginning, a fairly large section, and people do it. And then fly fishing. Well, we have the largest section of fly fishing of any show in the Western United States. We've done a great job. Michael Schweit, who was in charge of that, has put it together. It's fantastic. And then, of course, we're really proud of the speakers we have. And Pat McDonald, formerly of Western Outdoor News, has done a great job putting a wonderful variety of speakers together. The best from every discipline, from trout fishing and fly fishing, and offshore fishing and nearshore fishing and pier fishing. He's put it together. And then he went one step further and he said, look, we're going to do something no one else has done before. So on Saturday, we're going to have a 2-hour symposium about women in fishing. And it's going to be really exciting. As a matter of fact, I need to talk to your sister when we're done here. I got to ask her something. So this is it's a really, and then we have, of course, the Department of Fish and Game is coming out. You want to ask them questions. Wayne Coto is going to be there interviewing them, and you can talk to them. Outside, of course, we have the Mammoth Lakes Kids Fish Free Trout Pond. Now that is really special. If you think about that for a minute, we haven't kept good records of how many kids went through the trout pond, but extremely conservative estimate is 1.5 million. Those 1.5 million kids grew up. They got married. They had children, then grandchildren. Over 76 years, this happens. And the amount of anglers that we created with that Kids Fish Free Trout Pond is absolutely incalculable, but it's big. And we're very proud of that. We're proud to continue doing that. We have the Turner's Outdoorsman Ultimate Air Dogs out there. A lot of people love it. They love watching those dogs jump. And the guy who runs it is Milt Wilcox. He's a former big league baseball pitcher, pitched in the World Series. And he's a charmer, and he's good dogs to come out and participate. He's great. And then we have my daughter-in-law, Katie, forced me to do 20 years ago, and I'm glad she did, the Great American Duck Races. And kids love the duck races. They hold the ducks, they race, the kids think it's great. Right next to it is Brian Shaw from the Department of Fish and Game, and he's going to teach them how to cast, and we're going to have we're going to have air gun ranges, and we're going to have as much fun as we possibly have, because my dad, Fred Hall, who the shows were named after, and I wish we could still call them the Fred Hall shows, because I'd just as soon go to my grave honoring my father as calling him by my name, but we can't. And anyway, it's just going to be great. I mean, this is a time when we're going to provide a full day of family fun. My dad was very adamant about that. People have to come and have fun at our shows. If they don't have fun, this is not a trade show. You're not going to write orders. You know, there's stuff to buy. Yes, you can make great deals. Yes. But you got to remember, the first 35 years we had this show, my dad didn't allow selling. It was just a show. He showed stuff. It was Mike Lum and I. Mike was over at Andrews, which then became Turner's. But Mike Lum and I pounded on him. Said, Dad, we got to do that. We got to have some retail here. So he said, well, okay, Mike could do it, but that's it. Nobody else. So I said, okay, fine. So if you remember back in the old days, Turner's was the only retailer we had for a very long time. And then Mike left to go do something else. I said, Mike, our deal's over. And I said, well, have other retailers come. He said, oh, no, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. I said, oh, yeah, we'll see. It was a home run, and the rest is history. And I remind him of that quite often. And it's, it's just, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of this tradition and this history. And I really can't wait for the shows to start. I get nervous. I am always very nervous. This is a hard week for me. It'll be a hard last couple of days before it opens, but then we'll get going, and you're okay. So,
absolutely. And Bill, you are going to be kind of heading this show off every morning, right? You and Wesley are going to be doing some inside super secret seminars before the show opens, right?
That's right. Well, first, one thing I wanted to mention is, and I know Bart didn't bring it up. Gosh, there's so many things I could talk about. Of course, there's all kinds of fishing stuff there. There's fishing equipment to buy at multiple different booths of all the greatest manufacturers that So all of that fishing stuff's there, in addition to all of the additional things. And this overland thing is really interesting. I think a lot, I know a lot of anglers who they do a lot more than just go fishing. They like to go hiking and camping and diving and swimming and rock climbing and hunting and all of these different things. And overland is so interesting because it's a combination of, fifth wheel or motorhome and camping at the same time. So a lot of folks have seen like these Jeeps that have a tent on the top of the Jeep that's flat, and then it opens up to a big tent and it has a little ladder and you sleep up there. That's part of the overland. Overland also has these trailers that you pull that are just incredible. It's a small trailer. It's very light. The wheelbase is small so that you can go on dirt roads with them. But when you go and open up the back of it, it's got an oven, it's got a stove, it's got a barbecue, it's got all of your provisions in there. So all of these different things will be at the show, and that's really exciting. As far as these seminars go, there are so many fantastic seminars. Wes and I, Cabo Surfcaster on Facebook, Wes and I are going to be giving a pre-show seminar that'll be Friday morning from 10 a.m. to noon. And your ticket to that is $40. It includes your entrance to the show, refreshments there. We're going to have an unbelievable raffle. We've got fishing rods, lures, clothes, books, all kinds of things to give away there, baits, you name it. We've got it there to give away at the pre-show seminar. Everybody needs to get their ticket in advance. You can get that at hallshows.com for the pre-show seminar, because it will sell out and there won't be enough room. And then as soon as the seminar's over, no reason to go outside. We're going to open up the back door and you'll be let right into the middle of the show, and really before anybody else gets in there to go look at the booths, go visit CCA and do your thing. So that's really exciting. The Women's Symposium is really exciting. There's over the years, I've been fishing a long time, like the two of you, and we've seen a lot of change in the fishing industry, in the fishing, recreational fishing, with a lot of folks of all different kinds coming in and enjoying the sport. And women have been in that case, and they have taken over some really important positions. They've done some really interesting things. We want to hear about him. The lineup as of a few days ago for the gals was Virginia Salvador, which is a captain from up north, Lori Mueller, Wendy Tachahara, who most people know, Lori Byron from Turner's, Kathy Rounds-Lepreste will be there.
Actually,
Carrie Wilson will be there.
Kathy can't make it. Kathy can't make it.
Oh, Kathy can't make it. Okay. But the person I'm really looking forward to seeing is Catherine Clemens, and she is the editor of The Log. And so I read her articles all the time in The Log. She has historical maritime articles. She's got articles about fishing. And I must admit this from the other day. I read an article of hers a couple of weeks ago about fishing and fishing equipment. And I learned things from that article that I should have known that I never knew before. So this Women's Symposium is going to bring all of these gals together from the fishing industry, writing industry, different areas of recreational and commercial fishing and writing. And it's going to give people a chance to ask questions, other young ladies to learn how they can become part of the fishing industry. So it's really exciting. Just so thrilled about it. Bart said, it's like so nerve-wracking when you're coming up to the last days, you're getting there and you're putting all your stuff together and you're driving out and you're setting things up. But there's nothing better than the show.
No, it's pretty exciting. Something that Bart and Bill did for all of you that are watching. This is going to blow your mind. Look at this QR code up on the screen right now. We're the only person that's allowed to give away this, and this is because of Bart and Bill, and they know the power at your Saltwater Guide. We're giving away a $2 discount on your tickets. You grab that QR code right there. It's going to take you right to the ticket booth. You're going to be able to get your tickets. You're going to save $2 per ticket. You want to grab that. And here's something else we didn't talk about. We are going to give away to the at the show, when you come and you bring your children, I will have free giveaway stuff for every single child that comes to my seminar. So the cool thing, like Bart and Bill were saying, there's plenty of stuff for children to do, but you can bring your kids to my seminar. I promise you, I entertain everyone. You want to get to my seminar early, I'm going to have tons of giveaways from Promar and from Akuma and from Deckhand Sports. Everybody gives me bags of stuff to give away to the children. And then the big sponsor for my seminars is my sister, Donna. She gives away so much kids club stuff from Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. All the children that come to my seminar, I bring all of your children up on stage. This is crazy, but I bring all the children up on stage with me. Right when I start, I bring all your children up, and then I hand them all free stuff. And then before they leave the stage, we take a group picture. Then I tell them as they leave, listen to Captain Dave. If I say any bad words at all, you guys get to come back up on the stage and get more free stuff. I work super clean. I'm passionate and I go crazy up there on the stage. Absolutely. It's the wildest thing you've ever seen. You've never seen a seminar like mine. But it's clean. I do not use any bad words ever. It's super good for your children, just like my podcast, just like why Jenny loves listening to me, because there is no foul language. There's nothing. I have a really good time up on stage, and it's a kid's show. And that's the thing about the Bart Hall Show or the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. Yeah, us as parents and us as fishermen and us as outdoors people, we want to go see the stuff, but don't not bring your children. There's plenty to do at the Bart Hall shows. There's plenty to do at the PCS show. Plus, Captain Dave will be there making sure that your children go home with stuff. And it's not garbage. It's stuff that they're going to use. There's hats and beanies and shirts and coloring books and all kinds of really fun, cool stuff from all our different sponsors. That's a big deal, right, Bart? Right, Bill? You get that $2 discount. Grab that. Family, think it's family all the time. Grab the QR code, gang. Please grab the QR code. I'm going to pull it down so it's not in front of Bart's face. You can grab it later on, come back and revisit the show, but grab that QR code because Bart, Bill, there's nowhere else to save $2 on a ticket than right here, right?
You can't. There's no place. The only other discounts is if you join CCA at the show, you get a discount. But there's no other place to get a discount on tickets other than your podcast.
There you go, gang. That's coming right from the man, the Bart Hall Show. The man, Bart Hall's telling you. And Bill Barney, how fun. Bill's been to my seminars. It's a blast, right? It's kind of crazy. Mark Wish used to come and go, how in the? Mark did 1 million seminars, but he would stand there and go, huh? What did you just do? I've never seen that before.
You know, Dave, a lot of times your seminar would be right before mine. So, I'd come over there a few minutes early to not be in a rush. And I'd look up there and be like, man, I want to join Dave. Like, that looks like fun. Like, let's get up there together and do something. Yeah, it's a great time. It is really great, really, for both of us. We have an incredible passion about fishing and what we love about it. And of course, both of us have spent really our whole lives on the ocean. And what we did, unlike some others, is we paid attention. And we're able to take all of those things we learned and then teach them to other people. And I think one of the reasons that we're like that is because, I don't know with you, Dave, but for me, like when I was growing up, I'd walk into a tackle shop and they'd look at me and they'd say, what do you want? And you say, well, where's a good spot to go fishing? Oh, I can't tell you that. It's a secret. So when I grew up, I decided I'm going to do exactly the opposite of that. I'm going to try to teach everybody all the stuff that I learned. And then if I do that, without question, they're going to come back to me and they're going to say, hey, look at this picture, Bill, of this big fish I caught. I caught it right here and I used this for bait. And it was this time of day that I went and all that. I'll learn so much more than I will ever teach anybody. It's really a great sport.
Yeah, the whole atmosphere of the shows is just incredible. If you haven't been yet, gang, you don't want to miss out. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bart's done a great thing. He's allowing me to speak twice a day. So if you can't be there, I'm going to be up on, something I didn't even know. Pacific Sport Fishing Alliance, Larry Hansen, he's given away a trip to Alaska at his lodge for the CCA. When you go over there for the CCA, as part of the drawing, you're going to win a free trip to Alaska. Remember, I'm going to Alaska with Larry. Kelly and I will be up there the first 2 weeks of September. We'll be at his lodge, but he's given away that trip. So him and I will be on stage at 12 o'clock doing a seminar. Larry's in for a big shock. I hope he gets to talk a little bit. But and then Bart said, Dave, you can freewheel at 3 o'clock. Just be a good boy up on stage. And I said, oh, don't worry. I know Jenny will be watching. I'll be a good boy. I promise.
No, look, I would never tell Dave to do anything on that stage because what he does is unique and entertaining and fabulous. So we love it. We love it when he does a seminar.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all the people coming out to see me. I don't want to let you down. I want to entertain you. There's no downtime. When you sit down at that 12 o'clock hour, you sit down at that 3 o'clock hour, you are going to be worn out when I get off the stage. I promise you. And you're going to walk away going, did that just happen? Did that just happen? Absolutely. So you're going to have a ton of exhibitors there also, right? We haven't even talked about that, Bart. You're going to have all the big names in the biz?
Yeah, we have all the big names in the biz. We were not able to get all of the convention center that we used to have. We will in the future. But when all this stuff happened, they cut us back. We lost 25% of the volume of space. Which we will recover over time, but it's packed. I mean, we got no room. We're done. We have no place to put anybody else. So we have really great retail too. I mean, Turner's has a giant place there where you can buy virtually everything on earth. Bob Sands has a huge Spud Island tackle, Fisherman's Access, Long Beach Fishing Supply, San Diego. Tackle traders. I mean, I'm sure I've just left somebody out. They're going to be mad at me. But yeah, it's everything you want to do at the show you can do, and then more. After you get through buying all your stuff, there's a lot more to do. All the seminars we have are spectacular. The speakers are really, really good. And If you get tired of that, you can learn how to fly fish. You can go over to the Federation and do it over there. You can go see Guy G's on the 100 row where all the people from 395 are. He'll take you out to his own private casting pond on the dock and teach you how to cast. And it's just like that. I mean, it's just one thing after another, and it represents everything that I love. Now, look, could it be more? Yeah, it was. It was more in 2020. It was bigger, but it's as big as we can be now, and we're going to get bigger in the future.
Right. Well, it's a good thing for the industry. I know this is a different date. We're starting out in January this year, but Bill Varney and I have been talking about it on our show for the last 3 weeks. That is good for the industry. This is all about the industry, gang. This is whatever you think, whatever you're thinking about. The industry is what this show is for. The industry, we need this. The industry needs this. January is a very slow time for the industry. Now with the rockfish being closed until April, we need this. And it's really cool that you got your show in January, then your show again in February, and then to wrap it all up right before the season starts, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show. You and Bill have done a phenomenal thing by putting these 3 shows 1 month apart. This is only good for the industry, gang, and I'm in the industry, and Bill's in the industry, Bart, and you're in the industry. This is a win-win for the whole industry, having it 3 months, 3 shows, 3 major shows in a row for our industry that we all love. This is phenomenal. I'm so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am to be in front of people for 3 months in a row. Not that I don't get in front of people every day, but to stand on the stage at your show and stand on the stage at Bill's show and touch all these people that we're going to touch and all these children. That's the thing. It's about the kids. That's why your trout pond has been the focal point since your dad started this when he started it. The trout pond is, you want to go see something super special, everybody that's watching? You don't have children or you don't have a grandchild there? Go watch. Just go stand at the edge and watch the smiles and watch the faces. Bart, you spend a lot of time at the trout pond because you're very
well. You just hit on something, Dave, that I don't talk about much on, but this is a very stressful job that I have producing these things. I take it seriously. I want everything to go well. I want everybody to be happy. Well, that's impossible when you're doing this. So I get stressed, and when I get stressed enough, I go out and I help work the trout pond. And I'll tell you, you're there for 5 minutes and you're just smiling and feeling good, and there's nothing like it. The kids are having a ball. The parents are happy with you because you did it for the kids, and it's wonderful. I couldn't imagine doing this without doing a professionally run trout pond. It is hard and it's expensive, and you can't. I just love it. You're right. I go there when I'm stressed, and I think it's fantastic.
Oh, it's magical when you go there and you watch these children's faces, gang, and you watch what's going on, and you watch the volunteers giving back and making sure that each child catches a fish. Everything in your everything that's going on, all the stress, like Bart just said, everything that's going on in your life, it just leaves for a few minutes, and you just go, oh yeah, this is what it's all about. This is why CCA, this is why Bill, this is why Bart, this is why Frank Lepresti, this is why Bill DePriest, why we all are so involved with CCA, because we don't want there to not be children participating in the fishing. And you said it earlier in the show. How many children can look back, or adults can look back and go, that's where I caught my first fish?
My father died on a Saturday. Early in the morning, he went in for elective surgery on Friday and finally passed on Saturday morning. And I called Pete's show because I thought the industry and the people ought to know that Fred Hall had passed. So I called and I told Pete, and I said, but I'm going off. I had to go back to the show. It's Saturday. So we got there, and they tried to put us in this special room. They had flowers everywhere, and they had it all set up, and people were supposed to come in and visit. And I couldn't stand it. So I left, and I started walking the floor. And as I'm walking the floor, hundreds of people. Now, if hundreds of people come to you, that's just the tip of the pyramid. There's always more that never come to see you who won't do it. But they came to me and said, look, I caught my first fish at your show, your dad's show. My children caught their first fish at your dad's show, and today my grandchildren. I can't tell that story very often. It gets me, you know. But yeah, it's a big deal, really big deal.
It's a huge deal. You don't understand. And you know what, Bart? Because of you and your dad, now at the PCS show, Bill has that trout pond there because he's passing on. So much stuff that goes on at the PCS show is because of, hey, Jenny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm super excited. I'm super excited to come to the show. I'm fired up, man. This is so fun.
I can't go until I get my nails done tomorrow.
Oh, you sound like Kelly girl. You sound like Kelly girl. Yep. At least he pulled you on the screen. I can't get Kelly to come on the screen right now. She's not ready. She's still getting ready to get ready.
She would understand. She would understand.
Oh, absolutely. Don't bring her on the show. She doesn't have her nails done, Bart. What's wrong with you?
Wow.
But Jenny, I'll see you on Saturday at the show. I can't wait to make you laugh.
All right. We'll be there. We'll be there.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm excited. But what I was trying to say before you brought her in here is so many of the great things that you've done, Bill's passed on over there so that children get a chance over at his show to catch their first trout too. That trout pond was because of your father. That is a huge thing for any trade show. And I know there's a lot of people trying to do what you guys have done, but you were the first, you were the best, and you are the biggest by far. It's just spectacular that I get to be a part of this and be a part of you guys and see the love coming from Jenny and all the cool things. I'm super excited to come to the show. Gang, you don't want to miss out on this show. You got to be there. And those of you that can't get up to LA or Long Beach for this show, don't panic. Don't panic. There's going to be another one in Del Mar, right?
Yeah, it's going to be good too. And we're going to do a lot of the same things in Del Mar. I talked to Pat about this. I said, Pat, could you please put together a women's symposium for Del Mar as well? And he agreed that it was a good idea. So we're working on that now too. So it's wonderful. Now we do a lot for CCA in Del Mar. We have a party one night. I hire a band for them. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a blast. I mean, Bill and I are super excited. We've been talking about it every Wednesday on the show. We're both super excited. I can't even believe we're a week away now, Bill. That's happened quick. Gang,
it's crazy.
Couple of you are asking about my new swag, my new clothes, everything. We got children's clothes, we got women's clothes, we got backpacks, mugs, hats. Elliot's beautiful wife, Erica, put together one of the most spectacular apparel products I've ever seen. She went deep into the whole thing, went through all the comments, and now we have a ton of new apparel. We have a ton of new stuff. You can grab that QR code, visit the store. Only because a couple of people just asked. That's why I'm throwing that up there, gang. John, that's for you. That's for you, Justin. That's for you, Arnie. Check that out. Jump on there and go get the new products. Get all that stuff so you look cool. You don't want to look like a booger eater when you're wandering around the show. You want to be wearing your Saltwater guide swag. Everyone will know, hey, there he is. He's wearing the right gar. Check my stuff out. Gang, don't forget, we're going to put the QR code back up one more time at the end of the show. But Bill, we got 7 minutes to wrap this thing up, and then we're going to Bart. So talk about you and Wesley, the seminar schedule, all the different things you got. You're going to be out on the main floor doing seminars after you and Wes, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Every day I'll be doing seminars out on the Accurate stage. So I'll be out there, and also I've got a little bit of information for both of you that neither of you know. The other day I talked to Donna, who is Captain Dave's great-looking sister. I don't know how you guys are related. I often ask her.
They can't be related. They can't be related.
I often ask if they have the same parents. And your sister is really busy. She's a CEO Dana Wharf, and she's very busy down there. But she did make a commitment to come down to the Women's Symposium in Del Mar. So I'm really excited about that, because if there's anybody I would love to hear speak about, women in the fishing industry, what it's like to run a landing. Like, I don't know anything about that. So that's really interesting to me. So that'll be going on down in Del Mar. Of course, there'll be more details about that as time goes on. And then, just to give you an example, I'll read one page of the seminar, people giving seminar. We got Robbie Gant from AFCO, who's going to teach you Ikejime. Chad Gerlach from Hookup Baits is going to teach you about tube bait fishing, trout fishing. Got Dan Hernandez, who we have there every single year. Brian Nguyen, who was on Pete Gray's show a few weeks ago, probably about a month and a half ago, talking about fishing jigs and can't remember the technique. You should know it, Dave. For tuna fishing, incredible angler. Captain Will Berta, who's going to teach us from Promar all about fishing for lobster. The list literally just goes on and on and on with all of these experts. And I really encourage everybody out there to go to hallshows.com, scroll down. There's a page for each one of the different stages of all of these different seminars going on. There's probably 60, 70, 80 of them, 100 of them, a lot of them going on. And write down which ones you want to go to, so you know which days that you go to the show. Maybe you come to the show every day and you have the time to watch each one of these experts, ask questions, learn something. And in some of the cases, you're going to get some giveaways too. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, Bart, finish us up here, buddy. Bring it on home.
Well, Bill kind of summed it up, and my father's idea is in full force here. A full day of family fun around outdoor recreation, and that's what we do. We have every member of the family is going to have a great time. They're going to enjoy themselves. You can make great deals on fishing tackle and boats and trips and overland and everything else you can, but also you can just share in the experience and celebrate the passion of outdoor recreation at the Bart Hall shows. We're very proud of the model that we have, and we're very proud of how we pulled it together under difficult circumstances over these last 2 years. And we're looking forward to this year and many years into the future.
It's a very emotional time for both of us to be there. Your father, my father, they did this for a very, very long time. So I feel the power that you're feeling in your heart right now, Bart. I got you, man. I understand.
Your dad was a great man. My dad was a great man. I mean, I don't know if you and I are great, but they were. Maybe we carry some of that with us.
Thank God for them, right? We get to follow, we get to ride around on their coat strings till the end here. That's for damn sure. Gang, don't miss out. Whoops, wrong one. Hold on a second. I got so much stuff going on and I don't have my. There's the QR code, gang. Do yourself a favor. Get those tickets. Share this video, gang. Share the living bejesus out of this. I want to give you the 2 free tickets. I do. It's so easy. It's free to share. All your friends and all your family that you have as friends on Facebook or on YouTube, share it with all of them, gang. It's pretty easy. It's one click. You get to share it with everybody, and they'll all get to hear this great podcast, and then we'll see them all at the show. Let Bart know, let Bill know, let me know you saw us on the podcast, Your Saltwater Guide. You never know. We might have something in our pocket to give you. Just let us know you saw us on the podcast. Grab the QR code. Get the $2 off each ticket. It'll help. Every penny helps. You won't be disappointed, though, if you come to the show. Bart, I am super excited. Thank you so much for letting me do this with you today.
Oh, Dave, thank you for inviting us. This has really been fun. I really enjoyed it. Nice being with Bill. Bill works so hard, does such a great job. You guys both know so much about fishing. This has been a real treat for me.
Well, we really appreciate you being here. I know you're super busy right now. I know it's crunch time, baby. It's crunch time.
Well, I see Arnie Sago wrote down here. It's a whale of a show. Arnie, I got to tell you, we only use that tagline for Del Mar. We don't use it for Long Beach.
See there on the screen, Doug's been going for 35 years, so he's not going to miss it. This thing, and
Yeah, maybe Long Beach is. We should get a moniker for Long Beach. Maybe it's the blowhole of a show.
whatever. The whale of a show is, I only use it in Delmar, and people, nobody actually gets that. They think I use it for both, but we only use it down there.
That's funny.
well, everybody,
Well, thank you for having us, Dave. We really appreciate it.
everybody out there that's listening, gang, tomorrow is Kelly Girl's on the show with me, my beautiful wife. That's when everybody watches, I know. You guys, she'll be on the show tomorrow. You can ask her any questions you want. Then the great Bill Barney will be back on the show on Friday talking more about Bart Hall with Wesley Burrows, who is a plethora of information for fishing on the beach. You know how Bill's a plethora of information fishing on the beach in SoCal? Wesley is a plethora of information fishing in the Baja, fishing Mexico, and he caught a gigantic fish in Florida that we'll talk about. But we'll be talking Bart Hall. We'll be talking Bart Hall tomorrow on the show. We'll be talking Bart Hall on Friday on the show. And then next week, we're bringing in some captains that are going to be at the show, talking about the show. You guys don't miss the show. The Bart Hall show is going to be incredible. Bart, Bill, thank you. Everybody watching, thank you very, very much. And all the shares I'm watching, the shares are just jumping up tremendously. So you guys are doing the little bit of work I asked you to do. So thank you all very much.